Please don't call me arrogant, because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion. I think I'm a special one.
All right, today we're talking Jose Mourinho part 2. Now, we are talking about his Chelsea run, that 2004-2006 team that was clearly very successful. Previously, we spoke about Porto and how he kind of changed the way that he approached in Europe, going with that 4-3-1-2, that 4-1-2-1-2, bit of a 4-3-3. There was a few different kind of mixes of how he played, but really it was that 4-3-1-2 that we really focused on. Now we're moving on to how he moved into England. And at the time, England was dominated by that 4-4-2. Pretty much every single team, whether you're looking at the Invincibles, Man United, whoever it is, had an adaptation in some way, whether it's a 4-4-1-1, some sort of version of a 4-4-2. Always altered, but that was the way it was. And he was the guy who came in, like it or not, and kind of changed the way we saw it a little bit and played the 4-3-3. Had that solo DM to create a bit more of an overload in midfield, and now everyone's doing it. Who'd have thought, when you look at history and how it tries to write itself, Jose was the one to really bring 4-3-3 to England. And you would have thought it's Pep the way people talk. But listen, I'm not here to hate on nobody. That is not the way it was meant to be. But we're going to look at how he ran his team. And now there's 2 different ways to do this. And also, before we get into it, don't forget, join the Discord. It is now starting to fill up with people now. So join there. Put your thoughts in. What kind of ideas, all this kind of stuff. Let's build a community. Let's get to the video. And now, first things first, main thing to look at here is obviously, whoa, my camera looks very pale. I'm all of a sudden pale, but we're moving on. Let's keep it going. Attacking wise, this tactic is very specific. You need to have the right players in it. This Chelsea team is predicted to finish 6th. It does not have the right players, but you still get a certain level of results from it. But I'll show you how you adapt it and how you do it when your team's not completely ready. But here we are. So obviously, 2.34 goals per game. This is nothing super exciting. He's still conceding 0.71. It's not the finished article yet. And when I take you to the tactic, you will see that here as well. So all we see here, before we talk about anything, have a little look here. 25 goals for Palmer, only 9 for Jackson. Palmer is playing in the Lampard role. We're going to talk about that in a second. And also you've got Jackson playing in the so-called Drogba role. Now, with Drogba, you saw, there was a lot of talk at the start. He wasn't scoring an awful lot of goals. He was having to contribute in different ways, and he's still getting 7 rating, so he's still performing without having to score you goals. He is a link to this tactic. He's going to have to occupy 2 people, because out of everybody in this tactic, he is the one that's going to be doubled up without a pair. Just bear that in mind. Now, obviously here as well, you've got your goalkeeper on defend. You want one of your wing backs, both sets of wing backs, but one on attacking, the other on support, because he will still attack and get forward, don't worry, but he needs to have a bit more reserve role. And obviously you've got here ball playing defenders on both sides here as well. They should name something a Makelele role. It should be named that way. The fact that we're at this point and nobody here has named anything the Makelele role, and it's hard to really pick which one you want to do it. It's like more really an anchor. He's not really a playmaker as such, but he has so many things to his game. Doesn't really get enough respect, but stop crying. We're going to move it on. Half back here as well. And I went with an advanced playmaker. This is when we're no more attacking. Advanced playmaker. We used to have that Thiago, that kind of player in that role. And also Palmer here being the Lampard role, attacking. Because he still needs to operate as an 8. But he needs to be able to get forward and join this kind of attack here as well. And when that's all kind of said and done, I'll show you how it looks when you're kind of going forward. Inside forwards, either side. And then obviously here, you need a complete forward. He needs to be able to do it all. Now, talking about instructions for these lot as well. Let's talk about the team instructions first. So, very simple, fairly narrow. He has everybody compact. The one thing about Mourinho, he gets the defensive comments because he's compact all the time. Not necessarily defensive, it's compact. There is a difference to it, but for another day. Play out from defence and focus through the middle, because remember, that's where his overload is. That's why he brought the 4-3-3 to England, wherever he was using 2 midfielders. He then had 3, creating an overload, which is why you need Jackson to have that kind of ability, or your striker, the Drogba role, to have the ability to be able to occupy 2. But moving on again, very much here, you should really have passing space on. I've actually selected that by accident, but standard, slightly higher. That's all it is. You don't need to go crazy with it either way. He's not as direct. He had the ability to go route 1, but he wasn't necessarily possession based, or like always tiki-taka, but he did like to have the ball. So standard, let your players actually play. Again, why it's important to have the right players in this formation. Slightly higher tempo, and obviously over here, we're going to work the ball into the box. Time wasting sometimes. It's a Mourinho team. You need to be ready. And over here, regroup and counter. Obviously, he's going to counter. That's how they're going to go. You want to distribute to centre-backs. Keeper can slow the pace down, let everybody get in shape. Use the, obviously, space you've got in the middle to play through. You've got playmakers and stuff as well. Play through there. Don't really tell them which way to kick it or distribute it. You want a higher defensive line more often, because obviously the talks was obviously Terry going to get exposed to pace. He obviously wasn't. Became one of, if not, in a lot of people's opinion. Again, it's an opinion-based game. The best centre-back in Premier League history. Could be Van Dijk, could be Ferdinand, could be Vidic, could be Terry. Everyone's got an opinion, but one thing you will do is you will respect Terry and put him at least in your top 3 really. For me, 3 is minimum. Press, I will move on, don't worry. Now, over here, get stuck in, high line, obviously high press, and more often here as well. Don't go too much either way. Just lose balance defensively, to be honest. You just get picked apart. So that's the way you want to have this set up. And on attacking, that is for the attacking one as well. And in terms of instructions, here they are. Over here, run wide with the ball, stay wider. Both of them here, nothing additional to them. And run wide with the ball, stay wider again. He's going to pass it shorter, take fewer risks, and also shoot less often. That is not his role. Makelele didn't score goals, famously. That was the point of him. Now, over here, advanced playmaker, nothing on him more than just dribble more. He wants to get on the ball and kind of make things happen. Over here, dribble more, shoot more often, roam from position. You want him to be arriving and getting into areas as well where he can score, shoot more often. Hence why he's a top goal scorer, so it clearly worked. Now, winger, stay wider this side, shoot more often and sit narrower this side as well. He's going to naturally do more because he's attacking, so I just needed to add a little bit more to what he was doing. And up front, just shoot more often. He has all the other things on it that you're going to need. As I said before, when Palmer arrives, it's almost going to turn into this when you start to attack. Obviously, he's going to drift into areas and all sorts, but it's going to almost turn something towards this kind of shape here as well. And he's going to kind of fill it over here. You're going to get something like that. You're going to get overloads and stuff like that as well. And you're going to be able to attack and break people down. He is going to obviously push on and all that as well. But how do you set up when your team is... Oh! Results. Huh. Nearly. We are over here. Results-wise, won 27 of the games, drew 8, won 3. Obviously, you see the lost 3, sorry. The ones you see we lost. Tottenham at home probably shouldn't lose, and 2 away games. Happens on FM. Scored 89, conceded 27. Your team will get better at this the better they get. You'll be able to use the other tactic I'm going to show you and develop it into this tactic over time, and that way you'll be able to actually get a lot more kind of the ball, a lot more dominant. You'll concede less, score more, all the usual when you've got the right players. This is just with the Chelsea team, which isn't set up with the right players, but did win the league quite comfortably by 7 points. Also won the FA Cup and got knocked out in the semi-finals to RB Leipzig. Probably shouldn't have, but again, if you manage the games, this is just showing you how the tactic works when they play. And over here, runners up again here as well. We weren't necessarily dominant when it comes to goals. You can see that on here as well. It was nothing crazy, nothing wild, but we're going to move on. We're going to show you the tactic you use when you want to be a little bit more reserved and how the results go there. So let me show you that now. Okay, so here we are. We are now going to show you the tactic, and here we go. So as we can see here, goals wise, kind of similar, the 2.1. Again, I'm not saying it's going to wow you. This is a lot more reserved. This is for when you actually need to get results and your team isn't necessarily ready. Because what it does do is it stops you from conceding as much. The 0.45 compared to the 0.7, it's obviously a lot better. It makes you more compact. It stops you from being so leaky at the back. Stats wise, you're never going to wow anybody with all this as well. But what I will show you here is won everything. Won it all. And over here, only losing 2 games in the process, away at United, again a bit of a pasting, and away at Tottenham. So, looking at the actual league here as well, conceded a lot less, nearly 10, well, that's 10 goals less, still maintaining your 83. As I told you, with a better team, you will still be able to use this tactic. If this is where you want to go, you can still use this tactic, but a lot of people want to score a lot of goals and be crazy with it, so I understand that as well. But this is obviously a very, very compact, unique style as well. But as I said, beating City in the final, that's happened before, I believe. Huh, weird that. You said a United fan, salty as out. Shame on City. They only went and win a couple of years after, but it doesn't matter. Keep it moving. Now, over here, obviously won everything as well. In terms of the actual stats wise as well, load of assists from your wing backs. Absolute so many assists. Still loads of goals from Palmer. A little bit more added from the striker, but let me show you the actual tactic so you can see. the tactic here as well, not loads to really change, just a few little subtle changes. Obviously the goalkeeper stays on goalkeeper defend, winger still on attacking, still an inside forward in front, that's still the same. In midfield, half back there, this guy here changes over to a roaming playmaker. That is it, no instructions, just let him be. This is such a key role, but it's less demanding in a way than an advanced playmaker, because he just has to do a little bit less. He doesn't have to be this wild guy. You can just get on the ball, keep it moving, allow it to tick, and as long as you trust him actually to play, make and pass, absolutely fine. I promise you. You can still use your best player there, or you can use a player that's more of a playmaker in that role. You'll be fine. Now over here, obviously this side, instead of a wing back, he's just going to be a fullback on support, because you've got an inverted winger here, so he's going to naturally be a little wider. He is still going to remain on attack. In terms of instructions, keeper still nothing again. Same on your fullbacks again. This time he's just going to have to get further forward, because he still does need to actually help out a little bit. But naturally, when you got the ball, he won't want to go as much, so you just need to give him that little egg on to go. Centre backs are doing nothing, as I said. Passes shorter, fewer risks, shoot less often, same as before. Dribble more, shoot more often, roam out of position. Nothing on this guy, remember. This guy is going to be the key to this system working. So I know I said when your team's not necessarily ready, you are going to need this guy to have some sort of ability. But over on the right hand side, very easy, shoot more often, sit narrower, and then here as well, stay wider, and as well, and then striker, shoot more often. With this tactic, obviously I explained, you'll go on cautious. This time you're going to be more direct passing, slightly higher, and frequently as well, still in the middle for time wasting. But play out from defensive through the middle. I wouldn't really use passing to space, but you can. It's optional. I've had mixed success on that as well. Fairly narrow, whip crosses, that's it. Everything else I just left as it was. Here distribute centre backs, but also regroup and counter, slow down pace, all the same on this page, nothing different. And over here just went down to a mid block. That was a difference there. Had to go to a mid block. You want to engage a little bit different because you want to stay compact. You're going to counter a little bit more, and clearly in terms of the stats that worked a lot better. Probably better for knockout football. I say if you're running anything in knockout football, this is the tactic you probably want to just adapt to in games where even if you've got your team better and you're more dominant, or you've got a lead, this is probably the better one, because you can still score goals and you're less vulnerable to get picked apart, especially with some FM nonsense, what we know loves to happen. But that is simply it with that formation. There's nothing really more to show you, but besides, when you're actually coming to picking your players, pick the players around the actual roles. As you can see, these lot aren't built to play this system. And I still want it all. You can honestly do it as well with this one as well, but I want you to be honest with me. I want you to run the tactic. Let me know what you think about it. Did it work for you? Did it not? Let me know what teams you're using as well. Comment down below who you want to see next, what formation and what tactic shall we do. I know some people said Maresca, sticking with the Chelsea theme. I'm going to be doing a Ruben Amorim. I'm a United fan, I told you. I'm going to be doing a rebuild there as well, but I'm also going to show you what he could do with Liverpool, Tottenham, Wolves, West Ham. See, is it any different to what he would do United? What does FM say? Because they were the teams he was linked before. So keep an eye out for that video. As I said, join the Discord. Nothing else to say. Make sure you subscribe, like, all the usual. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.